Well, the United States and Saudi Arabia have welcomed the extension of a ceasefire deal between Sudan's warring military factions for another 5 days. The Sudanese army and the Rapid Support Forces reached the agreement on Monday, the day the truce was meant to expire. Washington and Riyadh announced the latest deal, having brokered a previous week-long truce. While the two countries acknowledged that the ceasefire had not been fully observed, they say it had allowed the delivery of aid to 2 million people in Sudan. Renewed heavy clashes and airstrikes in the capital had thrown fresh doubts on the effectiveness of a truce designed to ease a humanitarian crisis. Saudi Arabia welcomes Sudan's ceasefire extension. Let's now bring in Momin Al-Maki, who is in Sudan's capital, Khartoum, and joins us for the latest on the situation there. Hi there, Momin. Sudan's rival factions have agreed to extend that ceasefire that has seemed very fragile. Momin, what is the situation there today, and is the ceasefire holding?
Unfortunately, this ceasefire isn't holding. It is maybe the 10th ceasefire that have failed to stop this fighting between the RSF forces and the Sudanese armed forces. Here, early morning, we have heard sounds of explosions in South Khartoum, where the army have used its aircraft in order to conduct airstrikes there, targeting the RSF location and RSF camps in South Khartoum. Also here where I am in North Omdurman, I have heard the sounds of reconnaissance plane which were flying over our heads since yesterday night and until now, and collecting information about the RSF locations here in Omdurman. Maybe in the upcoming hours we will witness also airstrikes here in Omdurman as we have witnessed yesterday. Also, this war, it seems that this war have entered a new phase. I was speaking with an RSF informant, and he said that there was an assassination attempt in the previous days targeting the second leader of RSF, Abdulrahim Dagalu. He said he was holding a meeting at the paratroopers camp when an airstrike hit the meeting room after Abdulrahim Dagalu leaving with only 3 or 2 minutes the room. He said that he wasn't injured, but the meeting room and the department was totally destroyed. So these clashes are still continuing, and this truce isn't holding.
So, Momin, from what you say, this ceasefire extension is expected to provide time for further humanitarian assistance and the restoration of essential services. But from what you're saying, it sounds as though that it's going to be very challenging for that to happen because the clashes sound as though they've continued. But speak to us about whether humanitarian assistance is able to reach people and if there's any restoration of essential services there.
Yes, there are many difficulties, as you know, about the humanitarian assistance. So far, 17 tons of humanitarian assistance have been looted, but we have received here a delivery of humanitarian assistance yesterday in Wadi Sayidna Air Base, which belonged to the Sudanese army, and some of it was delivered to hospitals here, government hospital in North Omdurman. Also, so far, the humanitarian assistance have reached 11 states where we aren't witnessing clashes, especially the northern and also the south state of Sudan. But so far there are many difficulties, especially looting crimes. Today, about a gang have reached to Al Fau headquarters in at the end, but the citizens were able to foil this attempt to loot the FAO stores in at the end. The situation in Darfur also is difficult. The humanitarian assistance in its worst cases, according to the spokesperson of refugee there. So the situation is catastrophic. There is no internet connection. There is no phone calls. There is no saving medicines in Darfur state.
Momin, as I always say to you when you speak to us in Africa Live, thank you so much for joining us.